Yo, what is up, everyone? Most Fabric environments, they have a workspace problem. When people start using Fabric, they treat workspaces like folders, just a place to put things, but they're not. They're actually, and I know you're probably tired of hearing me talk about responsibility and accountability, but they're accountability boundaries. If those boundaries aren't designed intentionally, responsibility starts to drift. So today I want to show you how to evaluate your workspace structure. Enough of all this talking, you know what I like to do? Let's head over to my laptop. This is our Guy in a Cube Fabric tenant. And if you look at our workspaces, I actually have some pinned up. And if you look at the names of these, Fabric for the Power BI user, Fabric for the Power BI user, Playground, CCC Dev. What does CCC mean? At risk, ATL, users group. I think that was for SQL bits. It's just absolute chaos. When I look at that list, the first question I would ask people is, who owns these? Are these projects? Are these teams? Are these experiments? Are these domains? If you can't tell who owns a workspace just by looking at it, ownership probably isn't clear in the system either. Another pattern I see a lot is project-based workspaces. YouTube metrics or sales dashboards project. When the project finishes, the workspace usually stays. And over time, it's not clear who's responsible for it anymore. That's where the drift starts. When I start looking at workspaces and evaluating the structure, I'm really looking for two things: domain boundaries and environment boundaries, because those two things define where responsibility actually lives in a data platform. A domain represents an area of business ownership: sales, finance, marketing, supply chain, things like that. They typically answer one question: who owns the data and its meaning? If you've watched Marthe's video on domains in Microsoft Fabric, she talks about how it works and how it fits into governance. What I'm talking about is bigger. It's broader. This is about using domains as an architectural boundary, whether you're using the Fabric feature or not. In most modern data platforms, the business domain owns the meaning. The platform team makes sure the system is safe, reliable, available. And so the second boundary is environment. Environment represents the stage of development, whether it's development, tests, productions. Environment answers a different question than domains. Where is it safe to change things? Development should be flexible and nimble. I can go make all my changes. Production should be stable. Don't develop in production like we do here at Guy in a Cube. When you combine those two boundaries, you start to see a clear pattern. Sales-dev, you'll have sales-test, sales-prod, or finance-dev, finance-test. And then the responsibility becomes visible. Domains define ownership, environments define where change is allowed. Permission also tells a story. And so, for example, if everyone in a workspace has contributor access, ownership becomes unclear. When everyone owns it, no one really owns it. The ownership should be obvious, not shared across every single person in the organization. Another question I ask is very simple. Where is it safe to experiment? Where is it safe to create things and break things and test things? And where is production protected? If development and production are in the same workspace, you are relying on people to be careful instead of the system protecting you. Structure enforces discipline. So remember this, workspaces are not folders. They're accountability boundaries. And when workspaces structure reflects domains and environments, responsibility becomes very visible in the platform. So what do you think? Are you treating workspaces like folders? Do you have clear domains and environments? I'd love to know. You know what to do. Post it in the comments below. And as always, from Marthe, Adam, this guy, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.